We're live, coming at you. All right, Innov8 Logan. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our first ever virtual pitch night. My name's Nick Robertson. I'm a Logan founder. I've got a company called Swap You, but we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about the other great startups that are going on in Logan. So this is a part of the Innov8 Logan program, and we're all about getting businesses to succeed in Logan. So first of all, I'm going to throw to our three judges. So we've got three judges here tonight. We've got Wilma James is here. We've got Adil Khan, and we've got Sasha Swartz. We might be old school, Wilma. I hope you don't mind and go ladies first. I know that sometimes it can be a blessing and sometimes a curse, but we'll be a little bit old school. So tell us a bit about yourself. 2 minutes you've got, Wilma.
Thanks very much, Nick. Welcome, everyone. What an exciting night to be part of, being able to hear a little bit more about startups in Logan and being able to support them. It's a great endeavour. My name is Wilma James. I have spent 20 odd years commercialising research, specifically within the University of Queensland and also at CSIRO. I'm currently a consultant. I own a company called Profitable Innovation, where I do a lot of this work where we're helping small business and startups actually commercialise their ideas. So during my time at UniQuest, 10 years, which is UniQuest is UQ's commercialisation division, I was involved in over 4,000 industry partnerships, some of them which were directly related to startups, others in just being able to take great research and help industry connect with it and translate some of that amazing deep tech research into great products and services. So I've been lucky enough to be involved with many license deals, very many startups. UQ is the most diverse university in Australia. It's also got the biggest startup cohort in Australia too. So I've had a chance to be involved with lots of
Wonderful. Thanks for coming, Wilma. Excellent to have you. A valued judge. Perfect. Sasha, tell us about yourself. 2 minutes.
Hi, everybody. My name's Sasha. As Wilma said, it's a great endeavour that Innov8 Logan is doing, and I'm very grateful to be a part of it. So my experience is very heavily trade background. So I've got 14 years experience as a fitter and turner, specialising in gear manufacturing, high-end manufacturing. I've got 6 years in research and development, and in the last 2 years I've had my own company, which is Schwartz Designs. So the company mainly focuses on integration of new technologies and designing new products for people in ways that haven't really been thought of before. So I've got multiple commercially available products from work with sewage treatment all the way to electric planes. Yeah, very heavily R&D. I love futuristic technology.
Great. Excellent.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sasha. That's great. So we've got a real spread across our judges. Let's go to Adil. Adil, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi guys, my name is Adil. Thank you very much. I'm excited to be part of Logan Startup. My background is technology. Been 18 years in technology. From past 4 years, I'm running my company Monster Hub, specifically focusing on app development. We were listed, in my first project, we were listed as the best startups in Australia. Fly all the way in Dublin and pitch to Facebook and Dropbox, such company. We have launched so far 6 apps in a partnership with athletes. Luckily, all of them ended up on the national news. Now diverting and mixing up with behavioral economics, and mixing up the technology with behavioral economics is my new passion. And that's what I'm exploring. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much, mate. Okay, so we've got 5 pitches tonight. So 3 judges. Today is entirely run by businesses. It's entirely run by startups. everybody who is on the panel is a small startup business or an advisor or somebody who has an interest in promoting startups in Logan. So we're gonna kick off with pitch number 1, which is Nola, Charlie Johnston, and Arjun.
Thank you. Could I share my screen?
Yes, go straight ahead.
It says the host has disabled attendee screen sharing. So
Perfect. That sounds like something I'd do. Hopefully we've got, there we go. Let's see if you can give it a go now. Okay, there we go. We just lost him. Let me get him back. This is going to be fun. We're going to have fun. If anybody's done this before, give me a yell.
Yes, on your bottom, you should see like a security icon. You click on it, and then it should say allow. It should be next to participant. Who have created the meeting? They are the
Justin.
I can see.
Yeah. So share screen. Oh, there we go. Gotcha. All right. Have a go now. Perfect. Sorry about that, everyone.
It's all right.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Shall I kick us off?
Yep, off you go.
Sweet. Good evening, everybody. We're Charlie and Arjun from Matchbox. We've taken up the challenge to build and launch 5 startups in 10 weeks. Our journey started with Good Vibes, an app to send and receive anonymous messages of positivity. We rapidly built and launched the app to a beta test in under 2 weeks. We signed up over 75 beta testers within a day of launch, and that brings us to our second venture, which we've also built in 2 weeks, which we're pitching today, Nola.
soft drinks are meant to be enjoyed with your friends and family. They're at their core a social experience. Yet whatever positives they have on a social front are quickly lost when you look closely. Put simply, fun drinks are unhealthy. Filled to the brim with sugar, caffeine, and who knows what else, party drinks are a slow poison which can wreak havoc on your body. Beginning with diabetes, these party drinks can slowly malign your body, giving rise to cancer and heart disease. That's clearly a problem worth solving.
Our solution is simple, a party drink without the nonsense. Nola is a naturally sweetened, 0-calorie carbonated cola. It's essentially the non-cola cola. We removed all of the harmful ingredients from conventional cola and reformulated a solution from the bare minimum. Sparkling water, a 0-calorie natural sweetener, and food coloring. Nola retains the experience of a conventional soft drink, but completely eliminates the resultant health impacts.
The global soft drink industry has an annual revenue of US $650 billion. Being able to capture just a small piece of that pie will allow Nola to become a completely sustainable business without closing off avenues for future growth. While our product has a broad appeal, our primary target is the health and fitness niche, whose sentiment surrounding soft drinks resonates with the messaging of our business.
When Justin contacted us last week, we took to the challenge and decided to develop a startup to present to you guys. We're not as far along as some of the other teams pitching tonight, yet even having a relatively new concept, we believe Nola has the potential to enter market successfully. Being under the Matchbox umbrella, traction from our other ventures can be translated to Nola via our email newsletter and podcast, which under 3 weeks has accumulated an extremely engaged audience of over 100 people.
The ask. We would love it if you would listen to our podcast to keep up with our journey and send us feedback at matchboxventures@googlegroups.com. And also sign up to our email list at the link on screen to keep up to date with our startups. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, boys. Could I encourage you to put all of those links into the chat bar as well so that everybody can share those? Okay, so for everybody watching, we've got some criteria for the pitches, of course. So first of all, we're looking at the problem, the solution. We're looking at how it was validated, and we're looking at the the founders themselves as far as their skill set and how ready they are to take it to the next level. So I'm going to hand it over straight away. Adil, we might go backwards every time, please. Can we get some words from you? What do you think?
First of all, in such a young age, impressive, really impressive what you guys have done. We'll chat about your anonymous messaging app sometime. I have done that experiment on a massive scale as well. So with regards to your idea, how do you go with that taste? Like, how do you determine what will be the taste? Is it going to be sugary taste? And how do you know that taste will fit the market?
So what we've done is we've effectively replicated the taste of conventional cola without using any like sugar or artificial sweeteners. So we've used a natural sweetener called monk fruit, which is a fruit-based sweetener, which has 0 calories. And effectively with that, we've added the same taste ingredients as Coca-Cola.
Great, excellent. So as we go through as well, can I encourage everybody as well to put some questions into the chat bar for each of the founders, because we'd love to hear your thoughts. Questions, thoughts are perfect, and they'll be taken on board. Okay, Sasha.
Thanks, guys, for your pitch. That's a great idea, and I think if you can replicate the taste of cola, you're surely onto a winner. It's a very impressive venture. My question is, what would you find to be the next step? Where would you like to promote this, put this out first? Where do you see this being its first implementation?
So we approach it from a brand business model similar to direct-to-consumer businesses. So replicating on startups such as Liquid Death and Magic Spoon. So definitely the branding of our product is such that visually appealing will be most suited to Instagram advertising. As for manufacturing, we have already contacted some contract manufacturers about the process, about how we're going to get that through. But other than that, the biggest step after getting pre-orders through Instagram advertisements would be to approach supermarkets, small supermarkets, and restaurant chains.
Excellent. Great. Thank you very much, Sasha. Okay, Wilma.
Oh, thanks, guys. That was a really great pitch, and well done for you guys getting that together. I think that you're very brave trying to create a new drink. It's one of the most competitive industries in the world, beverages. So it's a big space to go and play in. And obviously the way that you could potentially win there is have something different to what other people are having. And I heard that you talked about monk fruit as your sweetener, which is a fantastic thing. You know, the goal of every beverage company is to find something that could replicate sugar. But monk fruit is one that they've looked at for a long time. And from what I understand, it's not very scalable and it's very expensive. Have you had a thought about any of those issues?
So our initial thoughts, we were exploring a range of sweeteners, and we found that monk fruit would be one of them that is quite suitable to our business. And I think because our USP comes from the fact that we use a natural sweetener, which replicates the taste, is going to be what justifies potentially additional cost. But other than that, the ingredients that are going into our drink would be pretty simple compared to what's existing in the market.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, just before we go, Nick, there's a fantastic startup out of UQ called Perky. I'm not sure if you've heard of that. So it's a probiotic health drink. They've been going for some time now. They're backed by the Brisbane Angels. So if you would like, I can get you in touch with their CEO and maybe
that would be great.
About that.
We love them.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's a really important thing with events like this. They don't just happen in a bubble. It's best anybody that you have that you meet here tonight, put your connect with them through the chat bar, put your email, share your emails, and get connected, because we're a small community in Logan, but you know, together we're a lot stronger and a lot bigger than we are when we're alone. Okay, so we're going to go into our next pitch, but a couple of things. First of all, we've got the People's Choice Award that I'd like to promote. So everybody who's not pitching, you can vote for your favourite pitch with the 3-2-1 system. So at the end, I'll remind everybody again, but remember who's your favourite one. So there's 2 awards tonight. There's the Judges Award, so they'll convene for that later, and the People's Choice Award. So everybody gets 3-2-1 votes, and that'll be sent to the judges, to the panelists later on. Okay, all right, so we're going to get, whilst we're in transitioning for our next startup, Cookie, so Cookie, once you can share your screen, but whilst we're doing that, just earlier this week, one of our Logan startups, probably the big brother to all Logan startups, well, easily, Go1 received a $62 million fundraise. So that's an example of and you guys, lots of you guys will know Vu Tran, great guy, great local guy who wanted to keep his business in Logan for Logan jobs. A great guy, now has received $62 million in funding. So, you know, that's Logan. Quite often we look down on ourselves, but I think we need to stop that and, you know, build ourselves up and get on the coattails of big, great companies like that. All right, enough from me. Let's hand over to Niall and Gabriel from Cookie. When you're ready, boys.
Cool. I guess like the way we'll start is, you know, with the recent events of COVID on restaurants and cafes, and I guess every food service has sort of been that, you know, is in the hospitality business. You can, you know, what we've seen is that, you know, COVID has been really testing on these businesses, and, you know, a lot of them have had to make huge changes to the way that they, you know, to their services. And, you know, while a lot of these services are great in making the leap to the digital platforms such as like, you know, Uber Eats, you know, time and time again, we're still seeing a lot of these businesses being pushed to their limits with expensive commissions, and also the fact that, you know, these platforms only offer such a one-dimensional service for these vendors. Whilst we're seeing record growth for companies like U-Foods and all sorts of pre-made food companies. And I guess for Gabriel and I, you know, what we're thinking is like, you know, why isn't it that restaurants can't provide the same service? Why don't restaurants do this? Why can't I buy, you know, pre-made food from my local vendor and, you know, buy, you know, top quality food from these people? So I feel like there's a massive gap to really combine some of these 2 paradigms together. You know, you'll on one hand you have your pre-made food, and on your other you have cooked to order meals. Why not combine these two together? Because we know that there is an industry there is a market there. So I feel like, you know, and the infrastructure is there for local businesses to do. And, you know, that's sort of what has led us, Gabriel and I, to design and develop Cookie. And Cookie is effectively giving restaurant vendors a platform and a voice to be able to create a new revenue stream for their business. And I'm not saying, you know, they have to turn in and mass manufacture like 500,000 pre-made meals. I'm saying that they can cater for their local community. You know, they can create good food, healthy food that the community can buy into. So effectively, people can buy in volume, buy lunch for a week, you know, buy, you know, 10 muffins to feed, to have at home for the week. And, creating a sustainable culture where people can actually, you know, order food and they can maintain, you know, where they can seamlessly integrate that into their own diets. I'll pass it on to Gabriel just before I get too much into it. But Gabriel, you wanna kick off?
Yeah. So where are we now, and how are we moving forward? So we are currently in the design stage of the initial MVP platform, and after development, we will then introduce our first vendors to the platform, and with their feedback, we'll be able to iterate and improve the platform and move closer to our first production-ready solution. So this is where we need your help. We are currently looking for strategic partners on the advisory side with experience in the hospitality and restaurant industry. And with this insight, we'll be able to better position ourselves in the market and get in contact with local businesses. We are also looking for daring vendors for our initial MVP stage. So if this is you, please reach out to us after the presentation. We're looking forward to speak to you. Thank you.
Great. Excellent, boys. Went over a little bit, but very well done. Excellent. Really loved the passion that came through in that too. That's just my 2 cents about that. Wilma, we might start with you.
Thanks, guys. I think it's a great idea. Obviously, you've got to flesh that out a little bit more, but it looks like a really good start to be able to show us that there is potentially a problem there that needs to be solved. I didn't really understand what the secret sauce is, though, in what you were doing. Can you maybe just share a little bit more about why this and maybe not a competitor? Because there's obviously lots of people in this space.
Well, it's to give restaurant vendors an additional way to sell their products. It's to allow them to pre-make their food and sell that in volume. So they benefit from selling in volume, whilst the customer benefits from a lower cost, from paying less.
And so that gives them the chance to potentially compete with some of those other, like the HelloFreshes of the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or the Light and Easy. On price or quality? What are you thinking?
Price and quality, okay. Knowing that your money is also going to, to support the local environment.
Sure.
Great. Can I just ask you guys, just if you could stop sharing the screen so we can get back to the full screen.
Sure.
At one point as well there, Niall, I could definitely see was the ability to extend the use of equipment and resources that are available and underutilised outside of restaurant service hours. So good points there. Adil, let's go to you.
Great concept. I have worked in this domain. I don't know if you guys remember 5.4, which went bankrupt in Brisbane. I have designed the system for them. It was a food delivery company. Have you guys, I'll come to the point, have you guys went and took the interview with the restaurants? They will be interested to get on board? And do you understand why such a big company, 5.4, went bankrupt when they were profitable and they still went bankrupt? It was a food delivery company based in Brisbane.
Not sure. No idea. No idea why they went bankrupt.
Okay. And did you ever interviewed restaurants about this concept? Did you interview any couple of restaurants, like would they will be interested to come on board on very early stages, like where you are right now? Have you interviewed any restaurants?
So what we have done is we have spoken to vendors and we have shared the concept with vendors. So we haven't actually reached out and gone, hey, we would like to bring you onto our platform. We haven't gotten to that stage yet, but that is the next stage that we're sort of seeking to capture and move into.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Adil, actually, I'm interested. Why did 5.4 go bankrupt?
Costing.
Uh-huh.
People like to get delivery for 3 to 4 days. Okay. It was a subscription-based model, and their overhead was way more, the chef, and the cost was getting more and more. The subscription cost they have to maintain very low, and unfortunately it was not sustainable. They raised a couple of $1 million. They went very big company, running by the health fitness model. He was the CEO, he was the face of the company, and unfortunately they couldn't sustain it. So it is a subscription model. People don't like to order 1-to-1 meal. When we're talking about meals, people like to get 3 to 4 or 5 or 6 meals together. And it's not something which can be done by a lot of small restaurants as well. So keep in mind, I would actually suggest you guys to have early bird, like tell them that we would give you a discount or something like that, and have the interview that, would you pay this much? Or what would you pay? And would you like to participate in this one? Like really onboarding them. Don't tell them that the product is not there. Actually onboard them.
Yeah, that's vital information there. Validation is key at this early stage. You need to know the problem exists and your solution is addressing the problem that's real. Okay, Sasha, let's go to you.
All right, thank you. I really like the idea. I'd use it myself. But one of the first things that I thought of as potential issue is quality assurance of the food from the restaurants that you are bringing on board, and also these are pre-made meals. So does that require investment from those restaurants of additional equipment to be able to seal these pre-made meals and make sure that they last for as long as they're intended to?
Maybe, not sure. I guess it's all dependent on the kind of the growth that a restaurant is going to have. You know, if a restaurant sells, 100 pre-made meals, then maybe they might have to invest in that infrastructure. But if they don't, they only sell 30 or 20, then that changes the scope significantly for them, and they probably have the infrastructure already in place for them to do that. So, I'm going to leave that with restaurant vendors at their own discretion to be able to figure out. But,
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So the boys from Cookie have had a great, so that's a great pitch. It's a great idea. But as you can see, guys, you've probably, just from those questions alone and putting it out there, there's a real, there's a lot of lessons learned as far as what your customers might be thinking and how businesses think. So these events are just brilliant for that. We'd love to see you guys again and see what's the next step, because you'll definitely pivot no matter what. You will be pivoting, and that's unavoidable. So it's how you pivot and how you take the challenges, which are vital. Okay, we're going to get into our third pitch. And one thing I haven't mentioned is we're going to do a pressure cooker. Pressure cooker is somebody from our earlier meetup. I put out a post for somebody to give us an idea and to share it with the group. And we're going to share it with the judges. So it's kind of pre-startup idea in the way that they just want to know what we think as a startup community and some of the challenges that they have. So we're going to get into that after our next pitch. So our next pitch is from I Am Omni. So we've got Eugene and Paul. So guys, if you could start sharing your screen. Whilst you're doing that, just tell everybody about another Logan. This is a Logan advertisement tonight. It's going really well.
Represented enterprise platform available at your fingertips. Data protected by the highest levels of cloud-based security afforded by the Australian federal government. Our GIS solution has inbuilt omnidirectional communication for improving information flow and efficiency. Access can be to I Am Omni whenever it's convenient to you. Affordable and available from any device that's connected to the internet. Within 40 seconds, you can report your concern with confidence, knowing that it will be received and responded to by council, and they'll keep you informed. Easily pinpoint the exact location. Use the community to help keep your community beautiful. I Am Omni is a subscription-based annual licensing model. It's scalable through module enterprise platforms. It's an IoT solution. We're affordable, we're user-friendly, accessible, and we're a perfect market fit. We have no direct competitors in a global market with billions of dollars. We have development partners all over the country.
So let's go to Adil first. Adil, give us your thoughts.
Okay, is it because it's an app? That's why you picked up me. Okay.
No, it's just your turn.
Eugene, great product. Just quick one question. The first one is it asset tracking and complaining as well? Like you have a couple of different modules?
Yeah, the modules that we have, Adil, thanks for the question, is We have three. We've got the final part to our puzzle is that we've got workforce management, we've got compliance, monitoring and control, and we've got asset management. So the final component to our complete collaborative technology is that sharing it with community, making community have value where they can be part of the whole solution. So it's end-to-end, total end-to-end solution.
Okay. Well, regarding a compliance one, I have actually did this 3 years ago for compliance for Kuwait government. It's called RIAC. The app is called RIAC. It is used by the government to monitor this hospital. But what you have done, I like that how you have used the technology. We're just simply using GPS technology over there, but you went and have really in depth how you're pinpointing the map. I really like that part.
It's also a deal. It's interactive, which meaning is that it's not just pinpointing. It is the actual platform is where the work is or the collaboration is completed. So therefore, the assets have the ability to track their performance. They have the ability to be serviced, to add work requests to them, to know the metadata and the information, which feeds also back into strategic asset management. And that's where Raji is from Broken Hill City Council. She's the Director of Infrastructure and strategic management, and she's found it a most valuable tool, and simplicity is what she likes to do.
In terms of asset tracking, are you looking into the indoor asset tracking as well, or just is it more about external asset tracking? It's more on the GPS sensor, or
we have an internal we have the capability to be able to lay maps and floor plans over the top of buildings, with inside buildings, and go level by level. So you can go for fixed assets. We've got polygon assets and polyline assets, where a polygon asset can be a roof, or it can be a park, or it can be and you can attach any information that you want from it. So you have the capability, fully interactive and capable of having any asset, anything you can think of, it's capable of managing.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Wilma, let's go to you.
Thanks very much, Eugene. Great pitch. I might just challenge you a little bit that there's no competitors in the market. I've seen a few of these kind of things. Potentially you have a better product than what's in the market, but there are, I think, a number of these. And my question to you would be just, what is it that you think sets yours apart across some of the others that are out there that do, pretty much a lot of the same things? And in the same time, could you tell me if you're thinking about putting some AI type capabilities in there to potentially do some asset monitoring as well as management, so that you could potentially show different, the asset had changed over time or something like that?
Yeah, well, thanks for the question, Wilma. I appreciate it. Is the separation from what we're offering and what we talk about having no direct competitors is ours is an end-to-end solution. So we go from all the way through from workforce management. And when I talk about having no direct competitors, is with our competitor slide that we showed, that is whether or not our competitors are in the direct competitive with market costings, whether it's accessibility, whether it's the ability to be on any device. What we have is, with each one of our competitors that we've come up against, is we have the ability to be able to say, okay, they might have 2 out of the functions in which we have multiples. We also have the ability to feed back directly into legacy systems or to enterprise systems. So the things like Civica and Authority and SPM and alike and Tech One, we have the capability to directly API or feed straight back into those and feed those softwares where they don't have the capabilities or the granular asset detail in which we have, because they can't get down to that level. So that's where our market advantage, or where we say we don't have any direct competitors. There's certain competitors, and we wouldn't be silly enough to think that there's not competitors, but direct competitors, we think we've got a little bit of a niche market here. And with the AI, yes, absolutely. We're currently working on that at the moment. It's managed usage. We're conducting that with Broken Hill City Council at the moment, where the use of barbecues, the frequency of the use of the barbecue is, can the AI have the ability, because obviously adaptive technology or adaptive information about how the use of the product is being done or an asset is being used has an impact on its life cycle and its serviceability. It used to be program maintenance or preventative maintenance. Well, it's now moving into a completely different realm.
Excellent. I'll encourage you as well, Eugene, as we go through. There's a couple of questions that people have asked, mainly about your back end and how that integrates with council. Also, what industries do you currently serve? Parks, roads and water, somebody else has asked. And how is this different from aesthetic is from another anonymous attendee? So perhaps have a...
Well, with aesthetic, with the competitive, and I'll start with aesthetic with the competitive advantage with what we have with them is it's the end-to-end, it's the capability from aesthetic. Aesthetic is more of an enterprise system where our information feeds aesthetic as opposed to competes with aesthetic. So aesthetic has the capacity to do a lot more functionality, and when I say functionality, the ability to be able to be a platform where the asset management is far more in depth and it's a far more comprehensive. However, it's the gathering of the information, it's the SMEs, the tradespeople in the field that gather the information without the capability of having or the need for consultants to come in. Your subject matter experts are available to you. They're already there. The plumber, the electrician, the builder, the carpenter. They're available to use it. They enjoy using the software. They create the asset registers for you. They create the metadata. They're capable of feeding that information, and the exports or the extracts from that are what feeds aesthetic as opposed to competing against aesthetic. And
so I guess from those questions, there's a common theme where people are pointing out, competitors. So perhaps some feedback from myself could be that real differentiation, pointing out what those people have already are thinking about. So really, what is the difference in your app, in your product? Excuse me. Getting that through solidly will really break through and getting people to not think of you as a competitor, rather as somebody's doing it differently. Sasha, do you have something to add?
Yes, I do. I really like the idea. I like the centralization of it. Obviously, you've done a lot of talking with a lot of people, and I've already had a few successful implementations. I'd like to know what's one of the biggest roadblocks you've found trying to implement this in councils? What's the biggest brick wall for you when you're trying to pass this on?
Well, that is a brilliant question. I appreciate it, Sasha. And I'll say, how do you eat an elephant? And it's one bite at a time. Do the councils have the appetite? Do the business have the appetite? So what we've had to do is break it down into components, as in modules, and look at the pressure points. Look at where the points of the points of roadblock that basically need. And what we're able to do is just to add to it. So Broken Hill City Council started off needing an asset management system that was GIS capable, was cheap and affordable, comparatively speaking. They had used Civica, which they couldn't get the outputs that they needed, and it wasn't delivering like they needed to, so they needed something to support it. But as a result of that then they picked up the workforce module, and they picked up the compliance module, and now considering the opportunity with regards to the community module. So from our perspective is, the simplest part about it is, the biggest roadblock is getting through the front door and asking the right people in the right places, the decision makers, and then having the ability to understand is that we haven't yet market accelerated. We haven't attempted to market accelerate yet. What we have attempted to do is infinitely understand our customer and our platform, and then use people and businesses across the country in order to refine it, to be agile enough to get it into a place where we can deliver excellence. So when we do market accelerate, we're right to go. We're right to go.
Great, cool. Thanks, Eugene. Thanks very much. I am Omni. Really great to hear how you guys are changing work and helping people in their jobs. So very important work. Before we go, we're going to get on to our next topic, which is the pressure cooker. But before we do, two other Logan companies which are doing great work in this COVID-19 time are, of course, Beanley Rum hand sanitizer. Coming home smelling like rum on your hands has never had a better meaning than rubbing on some rum sanitizer. But no, that's an incredible job. That the way that they've pivoted into that is very smart. On top of that, we have Logan's Evolve Group, which have been a part of the $1.2 million funding to make masks. So excellent job for them. All right. Now, out there in our attendees, we might have, and we hopefully have, a young gentleman. His name's Sam McIntyre. He's thrown to us an idea. So I'm going to read straight from his words. And what I'd like is, we're going to throw to the judges, of course, and but I'd also like to hear from the Q&A. Just some questions. Sam might be interested in jumping into the chat as well and answering the questions. But we're gonna throw out his idea and put it out there into the ether and see what we think. Okay, this is from Sam McIntyre. My idea is to create a car park management system that removes the headache of boom gates and pay stations. Instead, customers pay using their toll e-tag. Compared to existing dinosaurs like secure parking, this would provide a much better customer experience while also removing nearly all overheads like equipment costs and maintenance, most staff, cash collection, parking enforcement, and call centres. So from Sam, I am currently talking to Transurban about a partnership deal to leverage their existing toll collection capabilities. As fully autonomous electric vehicles become more prevalent and technologies become more accommodating, we will transform into providing a convenient drop-off point near the car park entry, whereby the vehicle drives itself to the further reaches of the car park and tightly stacks itself with other autonomous vehicles. So in essence, an autonomous concierge. This sounds great. Plus, and Harry's coming up soon, so he'll definitely have something to say about this. In essence, an automatic concierge plus, because more vehicles can fit in the same area, parking is up to 3 times cheaper. The final pivot will be to have our parking facilities to act as a hub for autonomous ride-sharing vehicles and ride-sharing electric vehicles to recharge. Be serviced and cleaned. Love to hear your thoughts. Okay, so Sam has jumped right into the future there. We love a big dreamer. But starting from what we could do today and his idea, the basis of the idea, which is the car management parking system. Wilma, let's go with you. What are your first thoughts when you think of something like that? Challenges, suggestions? How would you start something like that?
Look, I think the fact that he's considering using tags that people potentially already have is a good basis for this idea, rather than potentially having to have people use, to buy yet another tag or to utilize. So that seems like a good part of it. There's lots of other systems around at the moment. Just AI ones that can look at that can read, or monitors that can read number plates and those kind of things. So that could be a little bit difficult to get it off the ground just at the moment in that space. But I think it's, as we get more electric cars coming on, as we need to find more space in dense urban areas, I think it's a great idea. It just needs a lot of fleshing out.
Yeah, right. Somebody in our chat has pointed out as well that number plate recognition does a lot of that too. But, an idea is always a great place to start. It always pivots. Sasha, let's go to you.
All right. I'm a bit dicey on the idea, to be honest.
Honest as this is the pressure cooker. Throw it in there.
Like what came up in the chat as well as autonomous vehicles are at least 10 years away. And I know that, if this was implemented reasonably quickly with the few autonomous technologies that are out there now, I think it'd be a lot more than 10 years before a substantial amount of the public would have the autonomous vehicles themselves to be able to use that facility. And then that creates a segregation between, people that can afford a $100,000 autonomous vehicle and people that can't, being allowed those services. I think through the implementation of it, it definitely have to be done through phases. And I think it would be a complicated process. There's a lot of communication with technologies and a big change to current car park systems. That's got to be integrated. I agree with Wilma that there needs to be a lot of hashing out of that idea.
Yeah, but I love the idea from it's a real moonshot as far as the idea goes, and credit to Sam for putting it out there, because these are the discussions that people should be having and thinking about. Adil.
Well, I agree with Sasha on a lot of things. But firstly, yes, you're absolutely right. Moonshot is actually a department name of a department in Google. Actually, there is. They call it Moonshot, where these sort of ideas entertain. The real thing would be the cost benefit analysis. In order to change the existing system, we don't know how much they're paying for the maintenance, and is it worth it to have the new system in? It's based on assumption right now that the maintenance is high.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if you go to most places now, nobody's working in them.
Correct.
Car park places. So
again, we have to do some sort of a cost benefit analysis. We have to come up with the number saying the number right now is expenses is this much. If we change the whole system, what are we looking at the return on investment? How long it'll take to get the return on investment, along with other benefits and everything. Like it required more due diligence at this stage.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so just from the chat, so thanks, Sam, for throwing that out there. We're going to keep doing that. So if you're one of our attendees tonight and you've got an idea in our next one, please throw it out there. There's nothing, once you get involved in your own startup and your own business and you've got a plan and you've got an idea, there's nothing quite as addictive. So I suggest as many people do it as they can. Get together with the team. Go to a startup weekend, get involved. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, totally.
Hey Nick, just before we move on, could I just make a suggestion to Sam?
Sure, yeah, please, Daniel.
So a lot of the things that you could be looking at is you say that you want to put it onto the eToll or whatever's out there. Have you looked at other systems? Because right now, when you go into a car park, you go in anything like that, they actually have things in place using license plate recognition to open the boom gates when they don't want people to pay. So have you looked at software, let's say at universities? You could talk to Wilma about UQ. I know QT doesn't do this, and it's automatic opening of the boom gates and then attributing that cost to a student's or a person's account. That way you're getting started right now, you're getting out there, you're talking to people who could do it, and you're pushing it forward as much as possible to be ready for autonomous vehicles in 10 or 12 years.
Yeah. That's a good point, because, these things don't happen overnight, and it's the people who have positioned themselves early and set themselves as trustworthy and an expert in the field who'll be at the front of the queue. So good point, Daniel. All right, we're going to get ready into our next pitch. So Harry from Innov8 Concepts. Harry, if you want to set up your screen, we're perfect timing, actually. We've gone straight from that into, and you'll all see why when Harry gets started. You'll all see why why it's a great segue straight into Harry's Innov8 Concepts. Off you go, Harry. Gotcha, Harry.
Okay, you can hear me all.
Yes, gotcha.
Thanks,
How are you?
Nick. And
ready when you go.
Yeah, sort of a segue. Obviously, we're talking about electric vehicles, but we are talking about a different platform tonight, and we'll share more now. So, hi all, Harry from Innov8 Concepts. So, Innov8 Concepts is actually a mobility solutions company. We do deal in electric vehicles, and by our range, we actually are Australia's premier provider of lightweight, low-speed electric vehicles, and they have full Australian road compliance. But we don't just sell smart electric vehicles. We support sustainable business models to support their application, and you're going to hear about one of them tonight. So we know pre-COVID, now post-COVID, consumer behaviour has changed, and there's new expectations and demands on mobility with a focus on delivery services and the logistics. But we need to make sure they're more energy efficient, obviously zero emissions, reduce the cost, and the noise reduction of electric vehicles also opens up the option for twilight and after hours deliveries. Now we're in the e-commerce and online shopping sector. Now that obviously as a value, just in Australia, it's $37.3 billion. And there's prediction for high revenue growth leading into 2025 and beyond. Now, there's limited local business options for e-commerce, and it's dominated by the major chains, obviously supermarkets, and your third-party apps. But what are the problems with these third-party apps? They're not available to all local businesses. They attract a very high, obviously very high commissions. We all know that in the latest news. They subcontract their drivers, and they have poor quality control and customer experience. And whilst you can set up your own app, you've got limitation within your market exposure, you've got added costs to do so, and you've got the added cost of the driver, the vehicle, and the insurances. Now, our analysis and our financial modeling behind it confirms that single point-to-point delivery actually reduces efficiencies and increases costs for all parties involved. So just even from a consumer's point of view, ordering from four different retailers, you're going to pay 4 times the delivery cost. But whilst if you combine and share the distribution network, it increases the efficiency, reduces the cost, especially when you're looking at a multiple drop scenario. So what's the solution? Well, our platform DTS Local. So it's an end-to-end micro logistics platform that supports local businesses and the consumers via a cooperative hyper-local delivery service. So it enables your traditional bricks and mortar to participate in e-commerce, of which they really don't have a platform now. Everyone talks about buying local, but a lot of people are just buying from the majors. They don't have the platform to have a shared cost basis. We're also looking at a personalized feature where you can still call Bob the Butcher. You know, you can talk about the barbecue, get the cuts you want for the weekend, and they can add them to your order. You might get the daily specials as well. But it reduces the cost for all involved, the retailer, the courier, and the customer. So it's Australia's first micro hub cross-dock platform. Now, it's subscription-based, shared database, so it enhances market opportunity, and you're getting an end-to-end customer experience. So we're looking at not looking at the food sector initially, we're looking at non-time critical products, increase our demand and scheduling, and then incorporating food and time critical. We're at capital raise at the moment, looking for a software developer to partner with to finalize our platform. The vehicles are ready. The local businesses we have spoken to, and they are on board, basically because they don't have an existing e-commerce platform. And we are also looking at some crowdfunding options to pre-sell subscriptions to customers who are buying into this to have long-term deliveries and a lifetime membership. So if you like what we're doing, look at our digitals, like us, and we're happy for you to get in contact with us.
Great. Thank you, Harry. Okay. All right. So actually, I'll throw in a question for you first, Harry, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Is it Sendle-esque? Is that, I mean, Sendle has the multi-point pickup, function within their model. What's the, is that, am I in the same ballpark around that, or is it more micro-local?
No, it's not. It's definitely micro local, your bricks and clicks scenario. But what you're doing is you're sharing the cost of that delivery to the customer. So basically, if you've got instead of you going out and getting your own driver and courier, or even a courier company to do it, what you're doing is you're getting local businesses on board to actually enable their customers to get a product to them, but at a heavily reduced cost. Right.
Cool. So just it's just. Finally, but it's a great way that you've got the vehicles and you're adding value. You're utilizing the vehicles now. So huge thing to do. Okay, let's go to Wilma. We'll start with you.
Oh, thank you. That was a really great pitch, Harry. Obviously, last mile delivery is one of the most expensive problems that we still have when we're looking at any kind of courier costs or ways of being able to get out to products out to consumers. So if you can solve this, I'm sure it'll be a great thing for you to be part of. So my question would have been about obviously, what way are you incentivizing people to be part of your program rather than others? Is it on cost? And I guess also, do you own the vehicles? Is that why they're electric vehicles, because you own them? And I'm just wondering how you put that kind of cost into the overall model.
Absolutely. Well, the cost of the investment in the vehicles forms obviously part of the establishment cost of the delivery service. And obviously there are reduced costs in running the electric vehicles for last mile delivery. And obviously we're across our last mile delivery sector. Incentivize, look, our model does present quite a competitive pricing structure, both from the consumer's point of view, but also the business. And it's very much affordable based on what businesses are spending now on that last mile delivery. So if they're basically having to resort to a third-party platform with the exorbitant commissions, it's very much discounted to a point where if it's shared amongst other businesses who are in the same position, the costs can be heavily discounted to accommodate for that. And also they can promote it to their existing client base, but they're also sharing it with the other local businesses, client base within the other local businesses, which actually gets a bigger uptake. And on the consumer side, having a very affordable and competitive subscription for unlimited deliveries also enables us to cover the cost quite effectively based on the operation, and also make it quite manageable for an end-to-end type experience. So you're not having to resort to third-party platforms. You've got an experience the customer's wanting from their local business, and they're getting it with the service that they expect.
So I'll jump in there. I've got a question. Are the vehicles leased or owned, or is there a buy-in for those companies to be a part of the service? Because the vehicles will require insurance and ownership and all of that.
Well, the actual business model itself has two options of leasing or owning, but again, for affordable cost based on the running cost of the vehicles.
Right. So a couple of companies would share the cost of the vehicles,
Correct.
or
correct. As it stands, basically the subscription to buy into the service enables the spreading of costs, but it's still operated by one entity.
Right, cool. We need to talk, Harry, because we discussed it earlier, but SwapU might have we could definitely. We're partnered with Sendle at the moment, but I think we could,
Absolutely, and I think there's opportunity there because it's no commission based and based on subscription, so the consumers get unlimited deliveries based on still being part of the service.
Right, cool, excellent. Okay, thanks, Wilma. Let's go to Adil. Hello, Adil.
Hey, thanks, Harry. Nice pitch. It's been executed. The company called Skip the Dishes in Canada. They got acquired by Uber, and I know the founders, so I have seen this concept. The only twist in your concept is what I'm not understanding is how the resource sharing will work, how the driver cost will be splitted. That's the part I'm a little bit confused about that side. But let me tell you that being in an app development market, there is a competition coming as well. So I know someone who's working quite similar concept. The difference, and I can also suggest you some ideas here that you should have a consumer app as well, where you can send them push notification that there is a delivery coming in your area. Would you like to order something which will cost you nothing?
Great idea. So
if I receive a notification that there's a delivery coming from butcher, would you like to order something and there is no cost to you?
Yes.
This is again not fully my idea. It's from Skip the Dishes in Canada.
What are they called? Sorry, Skip the
Dishes.
Skip the Dishes. Okay, cool.
They already got acquired in 1 year, run by two brothers in Canada.
Great.
And look at the market research we've undertaken is again the uptake from businesses to be able to jump on it is nothing that they've seen before. So basically, when we have been consulting them where they don't have the ability to even set up an e-commerce, obviously they probably lack the skill base or basically the framework to sort of set it up. They would be all in for something like this. So basically, the demand for local business to actually get their products out to customers to compete with the convenience that the larger supermarkets have, enable this platform and this service enables them to be able to do that.
Excellent. Harry, can I just go over you to unshare your screen for us? And then we're going to go to Sasha. Sasha.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, before I interrupt you, sorry, Sasha, just if everybody as participants, don't forget the 3-2-1 vote. So we're almost at the last pitch. So remember your 3-2-1 vote and we'll send them through soon. All right. Sorry, Sasha, off you go.
That's all right. Thank you for your pitch. I really like the e-vehicles. They're very cool. Just a quick question about that. Are they manufactured in Australia?
No, they're not manufactured in Australia. They are out of Asia and Europe.
Yep.
Obviously, we have full compliance and full volume compliance to the vehicles in Australia exclusively.
All right. Well, a lot of the services I personally use have their own vehicle, their own employee that does a drop from one side of the city to the other. How does this weigh up against companies who are already doing that internally? Is that something that you're able to break through to?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I've actually got a number of clients. I'm obviously a consultant within the retail field, especially food retailers. And I've actually done extensive modeling based on them operating their own vehicle and driver compared to even Uber Eats, obviously, and other third-party platforms and the high costs associated with that. And this actually breaks down both of those to be the most affordable model, whereby because it's a lower cost and obviously lower cost in the driver, the vehicle, and sharing that amongst other retailers, then basically it is very competitive in that nature. So potentially they would elect to redirect their resources and allow the service to their customers to be taken care of by this platform.
Very interesting. Thank you.
Cool. Okay, so Harry, that's we've got a couple of, that's a real game changer as far as a lot of things go, and is particularly important nowadays with deliveries and things becoming a lot more local too. Hopefully, especially businesses getting more traction in the local space. So, yeah, love it. Can I get mainly attendees, love to hear from you guys. If you have any questions for Harry, shoot them through. All of our businesses tonight would love to hear from you. They'd love to keep the conversation going. So make sure you're shooting through messages as we go. Also, just the people pitching, make sure you guys are sharing your websites. Make sure you're sharing your any of your socials. Put them in the chat so people can follow you, so people know you, because that's what we're about. Logan startups supporting each other. Okay, final pitch for the night. We have Daniel McCowan from Humble Links. Daniel, get sharing your screen. Ready when you're ready to go. Before we go to Daniel, we're going to talk about just briefly about there's a Tech Founders Breakfast coming up on the 28th of May. It's another virtual event, but if you're a tech founder, come along. It's really surprising when you do come along to these events, because there's a lot of people in Logan doing a lot of great things in the tech space, and you just wouldn't know about it unless you get yourself out there and have a look. So, all right, when you're ready, Daniel, off you go.
All right, everybody. Hi, as I've been introduced, I'm Daniel, and I'm one of the founders of Humble Links. So Humble Links is an affiliate link platform. So it's just a home for all discounts and links for affiliate marketers and content creators. So we sort of had this issue. We sort of started to see that consumers were having a bit of difficulty finding affiliate links and discount codes. So when a normal transaction between a brand and say an Instagrammer or someone on YouTube it's kind of a one-off deal, especially on Instagram. It's one and then it slides down. It just keeps going down and down and down. So we noticed that consumers did see this, but they didn't really act on it, or only a certain percentage of them did. And then you sort of realize on the other side that these influencers are experience lost revenue because of this. So what we decided to do was to give every influencer kind of a central hub that they could have all of their sort of links and discount codes all in one place. This is very much kind of like Linktree, just a little bit different. So we incentivize the followers this way as well. Because what we can do and what we are looking into is bringing sort of these profiles to consumers so they can find their favorite influencers or keep track of the discount codes that their influencers have. What we want to give to the influencers is unique affiliate engagement data. Now, the reason we're going for influencers over brands is because the majority of software platforms out there that do something similar to this show engagement. It's more of not a connection with the influencer, it's more of a connection with the brand. So we decided that we wanted to go with more of a connection with the influencer themselves to sort of help grow the influencers if they need help with affiliate marketing or with the with discount codes. We went out and we had a chat to a couple of different ones. So the main ones we found in Brisbane was Bris Vegas Dad and Hey I'm Nat. Definitely started to talk about the reasons why we should be looking at affiliate links and ensuring quality around them. And then Hey I'm Nat says that, you know, it seems she sees immense value in this, and she was willing to actually pay for the platform when we spoke to her. So this is just how it would look, just a consumer interface. Someone would come along to a Instagram post, would like the post, see that there's a link in the bio for more, would actually click on this and it would go to their profile on Humble Links, and then they can go through and see each one of their discount codes. And from there, they can move on to the website and be able to access that discount. So what we want to give to the influencers is a dashboard that they can see a lot of their click-through rate, the engagement by category. A lot of different influencers and content creators use different areas. Some will be health, some will be fitness, some will be sort of, you know, mental health and those sorts of things. So that was really important to us to try to help them sort of understand where a lot of their engagement is coming from. Where we see the magic is kind of in the brand growth and the value creation. Having direct link to influencers and talking to them and seeing what they want, we know that with helping them, they help us grow the platform themselves. And we also have a charity aspect. We started this on a startup weekend, and the reason was that we saw that brands themselves, especially charity brands, couldn't get in onto these influencers or affiliate marketers, as well as say brands with actual budgets behind them. So we built it into our business model. Once we are profitable, we will donate 20% of all of our profits to charity on behalf of each individual influencer. So what that means is any money that one influencer gives us, 20% of that goes to a charity of their choice, and then we attribute it to them. So they can use this for multiple things, such as brand awareness and also tax credit, like taxation and those sorts of things. The subscription model will be about $10 a month to start with. And what we are planning to do is look into a payment management system between the brands themselves and the influencers as we grow. So that'll end up seeing about a 2 to 7% extra revenue per transaction. Our go-to-market plan at the moment is we will directly contact local influencers to sign up. We're also building out a directory of popular sort of influencers and content creators at the moment to try to get sort of that marketing drummed up. So in other words, if you know a really sort of successful one that has a lot of links, we'll probably create a profile. We then want to use our own influencers to help push the product. We have this sort of, I hate to say inventory because they are human, but we have this sort of inventory that we can actually use. So being connected to, once again, being directly connected to influencers is a real big help for us. We know that it's a big industry. We know it's $27 billion, you know, but that's between affiliate marketing and the global influencer industry itself. So we see that we fit in quite well. We do see the gap in the market. You know, you do have Scrunch, The Right Fit, who definitely look at influencer marketplacing. And I believe that both of them, one being Australian, two, they do have some connections with influencers as well. We just don't know the depths of them as much as we know the depths of where we want to go. So there's also others like Commission Factory. There's also another one called Kindred.co, which just came out in England. However, Kindred.co just looks for everyone around. It doesn't really give people certain profiles. You also have other things like Honey and all these sorts of things that really sort of try to look for all the different types, but no one's really having this sort of thing happen with influencers. And this is just
what's your ask?
So yeah, so just our ask is today, we're kind of getting connected with sort of marketing people, especially around marketing agencies, if they're influencer agencies. We are considering where we can go for fundraising at the moment. So we are looking forward to sort of getting involved with a lot of those sorts of people. Anyway, thank you for your time.
Attached to your brand.
Yeah, so right now what we are doing is two different things. We are reaching out to local influencers, and that's as simple as most influencers, you know, they sort of steer away from emails too much. If we can find an email, we'll talk to them, but really just reaching out to them on their own social platforms. You know, Instagram, we're considering how we get into TikTok. It's new, it's fun. We're just figuring out how we want to get there. But on the other side, like I said, we are creating sort of a directory of actual sort of higher up sort of influencers and all their discount codes and stuff like that. So the reason we're doing that is to showcase what can be done But if an influencer wants the back end, if they want the analytics, if they want all that, that's when we're like, you need to pay for this and come on. We can. That's just, yeah, that's sort of our split business model there. But it doesn't, to say that, like, when you ask about sort of, you know, is it hard to get these people, influencers and that on, depends on where you go. Like some big, you know, they'll probably won't be too interested in this until it's much further along. However, the sort of the smaller ones, anyone under like 15,000, anywhere between 1,000 followers to 15,000 who actually do this on the regular will probably be more interested in something that's just starting out.
Thank you.
So I think, yep, Nick's back. Or is he frozen?
Nice, frozen.
All right, cool. And now we'll have Adil. Adil, how you doing?
Good, mate. Daniel, I'll jump into some quick questions with you.
Yeah.
I'm running a soft SaaS as well, and I'm well aware of all the affiliated programs in the market and all the other programs in influencer market as well. So there is a company doing a first promoter as well. There's a company first promoter which I'm using for my affiliates, and when they promote something, affiliates have their own dashboard. They can see how much they promoted, how much they get a commission. Mm-hmm. If a same program can be used by TikToker or a Snapchat guy, they can still track how much traffic they haven't given me because it's a revenue sharing model. So how you're different from something like First Promoter? And for your answer to your question, there is a company recently, I'm working with them. They have launched how to find TikToker influencers. They have a whole platform to find a TikToker influencers. If you're interested, I can put you them. I can connect you guys. So if you can, like if I'm an influencer, and I know a couple of influencers as well, and we did promoted stuff, most of them use CJ as a commission junction, I think, or First Promoter. So how it's different with your one?
Okay, so in sort of the way that we're building this is right now, we're not really focusing too much on that brand to influencer connection. So the codes and discounts and affiliate links are already there. What we're doing is we're giving the influencer or the affiliate a chance to promote it as a one set profile. So there's not much going on in the back end when it comes to connecting the brands to like influencers themselves. Where we see a little bit difference from those two pieces of software is the way that we use it. So what we're going to do is start building not only a directory of influencers, but also the charity side as well. So once we understand where charities are coming from, you know, where they want sort of stuff, we can start donating directly to them. So that's kind of, we're kind of staying away too much from full brand stuff and going more towards sort of, you know, the influencers themselves and the charity side. I also would love to, okay.
Sorry, Daniel.
No, it's all good.
No, it's great. Just want to keep, just remind everybody, if everybody who's in the participants, if you could send through to myself, I'll be either under Innov8 Logan or under Nick. If you could just send through your 3, 2, 1 votes for the people's choice. We're also going to give the judges some time to convene with their scores. So if everybody could send through those through in the chat, 3, 2, 1 scores, we'll go with people's choice. I dropped out of there for a second, bad internet connection. Did we get all of the judges to have a comment on Daniel's post?
Not yet, no. We've had Wilma, and I was just finishing up with a deal, and then I believe it's on to Sasha.
Great. Sasha, off you go.
Thank you very much for that pitch. One thing that I'm interested in is it's a very big pond of a lot of people doing that. What do you see as your projection of being able to be a company that someone else would refer to? You know, that there's a lot of ways to go from where you are now to there. How do you feel about getting there against other big competitors?
Right. So sort of like the, so you're saying just from a total business company perspective, not from a fundraising, knowing people moving forward sort of deal. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I know we know that there's all these big companies out there that are doing different markets and, you know, definitely different things. Just our go-to-market will be a little bit different, and to worry about going up against the big guys now, I feel like we'd be shooting ourselves in the foot. Like I'm not going to be, pretend it's David versus Goliath or anything like that. But we have looked at this. We have sort of been like, what happens if this happens? What happens if this happens? But we're not too scared to go up against them. I guess what I'm saying is we thought about it, but we haven't really put it down on paper because that would just, I don't know. I don't know if it would scare us, but you know what I mean? Like, we're just going to do what we do, because we could pivot. We could get the next step and be like, well, we don't want to go transaction route. We want to go this route, or we want to push this more or do all that. So we're keeping it exploratory until we actually get to a point that we're like, this is really something good. We know where our first step is. The next step afterwards is a little bit different.
I really enjoy that approach. It's a really good approach, and I've certainly found it effective for myself in the past as well before. It's very good. Thank you.
Yeah. No, thanks.
Excellent. Okay. All right. So keep the all our participants, keep sending through just send them through to all panelists. We'll see your people's vote. We'll tally them from this end. Judges, how are you going with your final scores? You guys are communicating in the back end there. Whilst the judges are communicating, please, can I have all the pictures, all the people who pitched tonight, can you please put up all of your I just read Harry's email there. All of your contact details, all of your links, your LinkedIn. If you're a participant and you want to share your LinkedIn so that people know about you, or your website, put it all on there into the chat so we can all stay connected. So we'll just take a couple of moments to get that there. If you miss anything, of course, the three dots down the bottom, you can download save the chat later on. So I encourage everybody to do that. Thanks, Niall. You've got yours up there from Cookie. We've got Harry's put his up. We've got Arj as well has put his up as well. Thanks for that, Arj. Cool. We've got I am Omni. Thank you very much. So tonight it's all about staying connected. So make sure you put out as much information as you can there. Daniel, thank you for that. Perfect. Okay, judges, how are we going? Wilma, how are you going?
We're just conversing here in the back just to do the final tallies.
Right.
So I think we just need another minute or two.
Okay, great. Keep those People's Choice Awards coming through. Whilst we're doing that, anybody in the attendees, participants out there, guys, does anybody have any questions?
Jared had a question.
Yes, he did. It dropped out. I missed that before. Yeah.
Yeah. Should I answer it? Is it cool to answer
please,
that?
Daniel. Yeah. And that'll give us some time for the judges to convene.
Yeah. Where are you, Jared? There you are. So does that mean that there is only one link per Instagram profile, given that you can't drop links into Instagram? Do you have any data on how much traffic profile links drive? Yeah, it's a really big one. And I think you already know this, being a marketer yourself. That's why we're pushing the sort of the link in bio situation. If someone's more interested in getting all those, getting their links out and their codes out, then I'm sure they will use us over somewhere else. Also, we will also give socials as well on their own profiles, so they'll see all of the socials that they can go to. When it comes to getting the data from, that's going to be a little bit hard, of course, because getting that data, seeing who comes from Instagram. Well, we can do that, of course, with Google Analytics, and we're considering using something like Bitly to then get those clicks out. If that sort of answers your question around the analytics, we're going to look at it through that until we build out our own one. Then once we do, we'll start looking at where the links go and who's gone to what brand more, what sort of person, those sorts of things. If that answers your question.
Perfect. Thanks, Gerard. Hopefully that answers your question there. Love to see some more votes. We've got one standing out at the moment. We've got a tie for second place. So for the People's Choice, love to see some more votes from you guys. How's the judges going there? couple more minutes. Yep, cool. So yeah, love to see some more votes. What do you think, Wilma? Wilma, you ready to go?
We're right to go. Thank you, Nick.
All right, excellent. We might go with your feedback first. If you want to announce, actually, are you okay to announce the winner and
I'll just look at my other two judges here. Are you okay if I announce?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Great, excellent.
Okay.
So just some feedback as you come through too. That'd be great, Wilma. Perfect.
Yeah, sure. Look, there were some really fantastic pitches. Thank you so much, guys. As we have mentioned a little bit to you on another platform, you know, pitching is so important, and you're going to pitch hundreds and hundreds of times to be able to get your startup off the ground and get it and get some capital into it. So it's always good experience. So thank you for, you know, coming out here and being vulnerable and showing us, you know, what you're so passionate about. It's really great to see. We thought there was some really great different ideas here. I guess we had to go on the scoring criteria that we've had though. So we want to announce the winner, and for us it was Emotion.
Well done, Harry. Well done.
Yeah. Emotion hit our criteria the best across the three of the judges, but you know, it was all very close. You all did a great job, guys. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Okay, so from our People's Choice Awards as well, we've got Emotion coming in first, with a tie for Omni and NOLA for second. So great job for everybody tonight. Really quite a great diverse mix. I hope everyone's had a great time. As far as a virtual event goes, I think this wasn't a bad one. That we had a lot of great ideas, but it doesn't stop here. We're going to follow up. So you're going to see some posts coming out soon. You're going to see some shared. So we've got Logan Startups Group. We've got on Facebook. We've got LinkedIn groups as well. We have to stay connected. If you're at home and you've got the greatest idea in the world, it's only going to stay an idea unless you do something about it. So reach out to the Logan community. Reach out to the people who are in here. We've got over, what's that? 36. We've had 36 participants. It's gone up and down throughout the night, but for an online event, that's pretty good. So people have been engaged and reach out to each other. And you know, within our community, we have a $62 million raise only this week. So that's huge. So we should all feel enamored by that, because there's nothing stopping anybody here from success. So great job. So thank you very much, Emotion. Well done to Harry. Good job tonight. And yeah, if everybody's good, we might call it a night and go have some dinner, eh? Good? Excellent. Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for the opportunity, guys.
Great job.
Thanks for the event, Logan.
Everyone.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Wonderful. Stay connected. We'll see you next time. We want to hear all about your pitches. Thank you.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye now.